Okay, so imagine this. What if an inheritance wasn't a house or a bunch of money, but a job? A really strange, really profound responsibility to, well, to witness things that maybe shouldn't even exist. We're about to dive into the story of a woman named Vera and the impossible inheritance her grandfather left behind.
And that right there, that's how Vera sees the house she has just inherited. It's not a happy yellow, not like sunshine. No, this is the color of age itself, of surrender, of secrets. It's the very first clue that this place, it doesn't play by the normal rules.
So this is where her unsettling inheritance begins. Vera shows up all alone at the house of a grandfather she barely even knew. And the quiet inside, it's not just quiet, it's heavy. You know that feeling? Like the silence itself is full of something, hinting at the mystery that's about to unfold.
A lawyer hands her a simple key ring. The brass key, that's for the front door. The iron key opens the study. But then, there's the silver key. And its purpose? Total mystery. It's a question, left for her on purpose. You could almost call it her first test.
She starts to find these clues in this very strange house where reality itself seems to be, well, fraying at the edges. The second Vera walks inside, the world starts to bend just a little. The house feels like it's more than just a building. It feels like an active participant in what's coming next.
And this is her first real brush with the impossible. She's walking down a hallway lined with old black and white photos, but in one of them, a woman's dress is red. I mean, undeniably, vividly red in a grayscale photograph. How is that even possible?
Then, in the middle of the living room, sitting there like it was waiting for her, is this beautiful leather-bound book. She opens it, thumbs through the pages, and finds absolutely nothing. It is perfectly, completely empty.
So, Vera goes to explore upstairs for just a few minutes, and when she comes back down, that book is not blank anymore. Not at all. It's now filled, page after page, with the dense, almost frantic handwriting of her grandfather. And this is the question that just changes everything for her. She's no longer just confused or grieving. She's in a state of pure wonder and maybe a little bit of fear. She realizes this house isn't just old, it's literally impossible.
So what did the book say? Well, it wasn't just some letter. It was her grandfather's grand revelation. It was the explanation for all the strangeness, the key to understanding the true nature of her inheritance.
He makes it crystal clear. She hasn't been given a piece of property. No, she's been given a job, a purpose that he had been tending to for his entire life.
And what exactly is the work? It's not about collecting things. It's about witnessing them, preserving them. It's the job of remembering all the things that exist on the fringes of reality, the things our world is actively trying to forget.
Then she sees this number in his writing, 4,719. What's that? It's the number of impossible objects he had already found, cataloged, and witnessed. This was no small hobby. This was a life's work on an absolutely unimaginable scale.
So now she has to face this impossible inventory. Vera takes that iron key, unlocks the study, and steps into the heart of the archive. And it's not just a room with some old books, it is a world just overflowing with proof of other realities.
And the objects themselves are just fascinating. There's a compass whose needle always points southwest, completely ignoring the Earth's magnetic field, a clock with 13 hours on its face, and a map of Europe from 1914 that looks almost right, but is filled with nations that history has never heard of.
This is just incredible. She finds a 464-page grammar book for the language of Vistara, one of those non-existent nations from the map. And I'm not talking about a little pamphlet. This is a fully realized language with complex grammar and syntax, a language for a people who never existed. And then she finds a book of poetry from a Vistaran poet. And this one line, it just gives this powerful human cost to all this abstract loss. It's the sound of an entire world, a whole culture disappearing with its very last speaker. So now, the custodian's work begins. Faced with all this impossible evidence, Vera has a choice. She can walk away from it all, or she can accept the role her grandfather left for her and become the next custodian of the forgotten.
And this is where her thinking really shifts. She realizes the inheritance isn't a passive collection of weird artifacts. It's an active duty.
It's not about owning what was left behind. It's about accepting the responsibility to carry it forward, the responsibility to remember.
Her whole journey here basically unfolds in 3 stages. First, she just stumbles into this impossible mystery. Second, she starts to understand the profound responsibility she's been given. And finally, she has to choose to accept that role and continue the work.
And this is that moment of acceptance. She sits down at his desk, in his chair, rolls a fresh sheet of paper into the old typewriter, and begins. Her first entry. Item 1, the house itself. She finally understands that the container is the first impossible object in the collection. The work will continue.
Her grandfather had left this single sentence on his desk, almost like a final instruction for her. It's her guiding principle now, a methodology for documenting the impossible. You start with what you can define, and you move steadily toward the things that defy all explanation.
And all of this leaves us with one last really big question. The whole story suggests that our reality is shaped by what we pay attention to, what we choose to remember. So it makes you wonder, what have we chosen to forget? What other impossible things are out there, waiting in the margins, just for a witness?